Hello, first year Dalty and parents. I'm Inian Ross, Deputy Principal in COLÁISTE na Hincha. I am going to host this webinar for you this morning. I am joined with our Guidance Counsellor, Aoife Tiernan.
Hi, everybody.
And our Pre-Vigia, Anne-Marie McCarrick.
Hi, everyone.
I am now going to share the slideshow for this webinar with you. I will begin by taking you through some practical information for the first few days in COLÁISTE na Hincha. Our school reopening letter is on the school website under the 2021 tab. All relevant information is in here. Please read it and make yourself aware of our website and of this document. You will receive a letter in the post in the coming days, and it will tell you what day of school to come in. 3 classes will start on Monday the 7th, 3 first year classes will start Tuesday the 8th, and 3 first year classes will start Wednesday the 9th. All our first years will be in on Thursday the 10th. These are all full days of school. Start time 8:48 and finish 3:38. On your first day of school, if you have availed of the book rental scheme, you will be getting a brand new large stack of books to bring home. To facilitate this, we will have a staggered exit time from 3 p.m. So parents, you can be in the car park to meet your student with their stack of books. We have a policy of no entry to the school building in line with the COVID guidelines, so we would ask you to respect this. If you need to make an appointment at the school, please use the colaishnahincha@lmetb.ie email address. We are really looking forward to seeing you all next week. I'm going to now hand over to Inian McCarrick, and she is going to bring you through steps to coming back to COLÁISTE na Hincha. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Inian Ross. And the first thing I want to say is we are really, really excited about having the 200 or so first years in this building next week. And we're really happy about taking a slower approach to it to give you all time to really get used and bed into the new school. We know you've had a really difficult experience of 6th class and you missed a lot of the, traditional events of the signing off at the end of the year and little school parties, but you are resilient, you got through it, and now you're coming to secondary school and you are so welcome and you are so wanted and you will belong here. And when we talk about belonging, I have to go back to the homework that Inian Ross gave you on her little video there in June. She asked you what was the meaning of these 3 words, Bród, Olvíon and Jarfacas. Now, these are not just words. For us in the COLÁISTE, these are absolutely ways of life. This is how we carry ourselves. This is the standards that we apply to ourselves. Bród, many of you would have found out, means pride. Pride in yourself and how you present yourself properly in your uniform. Make sure those shoes are polished. You've actually gone in that extra polish on the face in the morning. By polish, I mean water. That you present your work to your best standard. Your best standard. Nobody else's best standard. Your best standard. Olvíon is ambition. That you're ambitious for yourself. And the key to that ambition is that you will be kind. Kind to yourself, kind to others. It is not just an academic ambition. It's a social and caring ambition as well. In this house, people matter. Kindness matters. Always has, and has been picked up by so many different people, including inspectors when they come into this building. How kind and how thoughtful our students are and how welcoming they are. Be ready to make mistakes. In here, you will make mistakes, because if you don't make mistakes, you won't learn. Mistakes are the portals of discovery. That's how we learn. Some people are afraid to make mistakes. Here in this school, our mindset is that you learn from your mistakes. They are natural. They are part. If we don't make mistakes, we can't learn. GR focus is positivity, and that everything that you do it in a positive way. It is very hard now to be positive with all the news and the media hype that's going on out there. And news tends to be negative because I think people are drawn to the extreme and what disaster is happening. But we have to be positive. We have to take control of our situation. You take control of your situation. You're coming to school, you have your uniform, you have your school bag, in you come, and we will look for the positives in you. We will catch you being good. We will help you to be the best that you can be. And again, always about every disaster at times can be an opportunity in disguise. I sit on a lot of interview panels for teachers and principals and so on. And I often ask, what was the greatest failure? Loads of people are used to being asked what was their greatest success. What has been the greatest failure or mistake in your life? Because on the basis that you learn more from mistakes than you do from when everything goes well. In my own life, I've learned more from when things went wrong than when things went right. So it's always about positivity, taking the positive out of things. So your startup will be a slow process, so we can really focus on helping you to really integrate and get a sense of the school. For yourselves, it's going to be a little bit like national school in that you're not going to have to navigate your way around the building as much because all the students are going to have their own classrooms. So you're going to stay in your own classroom with a very small group because what we've rearranged the numbers of your classes to have 22, 23 only, no more than 24 for this year. So you have a nice small class. You will be involved in cleaning down your own workstation. You will have to go to other practical rooms eventually, and that will involve movement, but not in the first day, not in the first 2 days. It'll be about getting a sense of the team, the family that you're in your class. Also, books. You will be getting a lot of books. You will need to have help, as Inian Ross said, get them into the car, but you'll be keeping most of those at home. For this year, keep the books at home unless a teacher specifically asks you to bring in your books, but you'll have to bring in your copies. And the whole thing about secondary school, it's very hard at times. I know in geography, there might be 4 hardback and 3 soft copies. So get the mesh folders because that is going to be your key now, being organized. You are now young adults. You are now in secondary school. The key to that is that you are also now a professional student. By professional student, I mean, this is your job, just like being a principal is my job. So how you present yourself, how you get yourself up in the morning will be important. Get up early. Don't wait to be called. Invest in an extra clock if you have to. Up early. Make sure that you're organized the night before, not in the morning. That your bag is full of what you need, that you've double checked it, that you have your Kinlay. Your Kinlay will be your diary. And you have all of that because there won't be any lockers. And lockers are awful stressful issues for first year. So there are no lockers this year for anybody in the house because of the COVID restrictions. Make sure you have your own equipment because there will be no sharing of equipment. And we won't be able to be in a position to ring home and mommy or daddy or your guardian drop it in. That won't be happening. So you do need to be more organized. Reminder, no mobile phones. We are really very, very, very strict on that. It's for your safety. And let's face it, if I asked you to all put up your hands now, who's been on the screens too much, I would say nearly everybody's hands would be up. Leave that behind. If you need to access the phone is here in the school. That won't be a problem. If you're sick or you need to talk at home, that can be arranged, but no mobile phones, as you know. Again, parents, really do have to emphasize this. Please send an email to colásiste@lmetb.ie. It'll be at the last slide to say about if you need to see us. And meetings we may be able to facilitate on Teams as well, virtual meetings. Extracurricular activities, unfortunately, are going to be paused, and that's something that really we want to be in. We love our extracurriculars, we love our basketball, our football, all of that. But until we know more, we have to pause those for now. And that just means we're just going to focus on getting to know each other better. Normal classes will go ahead. And our priority is getting all the students back in the classroom, focusing on well-being and routines. Because I'd say every house, if you're like my house, you're staying in bed too long in the morning. We need to get back into the healthy eating. We need to get back into exercising. We need to get back into good, healthy, professional routines. Here, we're a clan, and I'm delighted that you're going to be joining this family, this clan. Thank you. I'll hand you back to Inian Ross now.
Okay, hi guys. My name is Aoife Tiernan and I am the guidance counsellor here in Coláiste and Hinsha, and I will be working with your first year Dalty over the coming weeks and of course for the rest of the year. So here in the Coláiste, we're extremely proud of our care system. These are essential in assisting with the transition from primary to post-primary, and this year there's a further focus on well-being. So our staff have been involved in a range of training in this area and are still doing so. The supports are always in place here and they really help create a sense of stability for our Dalty. So for your first year student, we have our deputy principal who you've met today, Inian Ross. We have our first year realtor or year head, Niamh O'Neill, and Inian O'Neill is a fantastic year head and has worked with younger year groups before, and she will be a huge asset to you guys. I will be linking in with you as assistant realtor. Each of the groups will have a Quavenor, so a class tutor that's assigned to each wrong group. And this is their first port of call for any issues with settling in. And they meet their Quavenor every morning for Chunall or assembly. So we will have SPHE, which is social personal health education, and wellbeing classes for all first year Dalty. And a lot of work has gone into the content of that in relation to COVID and the return to school. So our guidance and counselling department here in the school, as I said, I'll be assigned to the first year group and I'll link in throughout the year with the SPHE and wellbeing classes and teachers. And Dalty are also able to link in with us one-to-one if necessary. Our Kinnera are a group of fabulous fifth year Dalty who are assigned to each first year group as a student support. We have An Cuan, our ASD unit, which has a wide range of experienced staff, including teachers and SNAs, who will be vital in the return over the next few weeks. We also have extra supports available for individual Dalty needs. We have Rainbows, Friends for Life, LAR, a whole range of supports should the need arise during the year. We do understand that many parents are concerned at the moment that their child has missed out due to COVID or possibly feels that they've fallen behind in some way. Teaching and learning is our bread and butter here in the Coláiste. It's what we're best at. However, we recognise that when our Dalty are happy and comfortable, that's when their learning and their performance increases. So our priority for now is the physical and emotional safety of our young people. The teaching and learning will come. Our top priority right now is that our Dalty, our staff and our families all feel safe. So the readiness for learning needs to be carefully created, which is part of what Inian McCarrick and Inian Ross spoke to you about, our slow return to school. It has been a long period of transition for us all. Relationships have always been key here in the Coláiste, but especially now, every positive interaction with young people will help them to thrive and flourish when they are here. So we're working on nurturing and creating an environment to have fun again, for our students to laugh again, to feel relaxed, to teach their brains that, you know, school is a safe place, and then we can focus on the learning. So be the swan. As adults, even though we might try to be calm all of the time, there's a lot going on at the moment. We are panicking underneath, but it is important to show that calmness on the outside, but also to be honest with our young people. It is in fact quite important to be honest and to tell them that we don't know all the answers, but we're working on it together. Here in CNI, we are working really hard to create a safe environment, but we also want to uphold our sense of family, our sense of the clan, and create a well-being environment for our first years especially. We want to make these first few weeks in CNI as enjoyable as an experience for our first year Dalty. We want to create that calm, stable environment, and set up stable routines for them. We are in the middle of a global pandemic. They are unique times, and we don't know what each new week or even new day will bring. But the key message is that we really are in this together. So we are going to be that swan. We're going to try and create a safe, welcoming environment all together that is nurturing and focusing on the young person. So how can we as adults support? We want to give our first year students a certain level of independence, and at home it's the same. They're at an age when you as parents and guardians want to give them a bit more responsibility, and it really is a tricky time as we try to find that balance. So be a good listener, validate their feelings, focus on their strengths and capabilities, what they're good at, what they're thriving at. Try to understand their feelings and offer reassurance. Give them solutions and coping mechanisms. So these pointers are all actually taken from new SPHE and wellbeing guidelines, which will inform the content of your first year child's classes in September. But we put them up here because they're just really good pointers for us as adults as well to remember when we're speaking to our young people. So often when young people are feeling threatened or nervous or anxious in a time like COVID and the return to school, they can display unusual behaviours. Your confident, independent 12-year-old might all of a sudden become clingy and needy and looking for your constant attention. Your calm and relaxed child might start to have anger outbursts. There are a range of changes that can occur when young people are going through a transition. And emotional outbursts, however they present themselves, can be really difficult for parents to deal with. So this visual here of the 3 R's is just a really helpful tool, and it's something that we will be coming back to as educators as well. The idea that before we can actually try and speak to a child so that they comprehend us, we have to make sure that they're regulated, they're soothed, that they can relate, that we can relate to them and they can hear us, and then we're able to reason with them and talk through solutions. So we know that transitions can be difficult, especially this year. And in CNI, we've put huge effort into planning the return to school with a specific focus on our first year DALT. We've got this. So strong routines and good habits, as have been mentioned before, are going to really help make the next few weeks easier. For most of us, the last few months have seen a change in our work and home lives and routines. We as adults have really had to work to acclimatise this. And now, after 5 months, your child not only has to physically return to school, but they're starting in a whole new school. The first few weeks are going to be exhausting emotionally and physically for you as much as your young person. So good healthy eating and sleeping habits are really important to set up a good habit for the rest of the term. Be prepared, organise and plan ahead, as Inian McCarrick already pointed out. Be informed. There's lots of information in the Kinlay and also on our school website, coláshtanahincha.ie. Our Twitter website and also the Careers Twitter, which is linked to the school website, are a great resource with lots of updated information on them. Take an interest, not an inquisition. Ask open questions to your young person. No yes or no answers. Who, what, when, where, how. Listen. Often advice is not heard positively. Verbal communication can really wane in the teens, but being present is powerful. Take a breath. Take another. Calm is a superpower. You are not alone, and if in doubt, always seek help and support. So I think this slide is really important for us as parents and us as teachers and educators, because teenage life is hard enough and these few weeks really are going to be trying on us all. So come back to these and hopefully there's some tips that might be helpful to you. So this webinar is going to be available for you to access whenever you need to. For that reason, we have put up these helpful resources. There's some booklets here from the Institute of Guidance Counsellors, from the SES and the special education needs. So there's lots of really nice things there. There's also a link to the ISPCC website, who themselves did a webinar on transitioning back to school, and that is available for you to view there. And there are some tip sheets from Bernardo's, which are also on the end of the PowerPoint. Just some really good tips for young people, but also for parents as well, how you can deal with the next few weeks. There's a lovely link to a Scottish website, and it is a little guide to making friends for young people who are feeling shy or anxious. And the last one there is a survival guide for returning to school in first year. It is an old article. It's not based on the COVID return, but the information in it is excellent, and it's really well presented. So I'm going to hand you back now to Inian Ross, who's just going to close up. And thanks very much for listening to me. And hopefully Inian Ross will go through all the final points, and we will get to know your young people and meet them over the coming weeks.
Okay, thank you so much, Inian Tiernan and Inian McCarrick. I really hope that information is useful to you guys preparing at home. Thank you so much for anyone that has tuned in and listened to this, and again, we really hope it has helped. We can't wait to meet our new incoming first years. We really are very, very excited. We realise there will be more questions to follow, and if you have questions, can you direct them to the email addresses on the screen now, noneil.cni@lmetb.ie and atiernan.cni@lmetb.ie. Any questions about this webinar or about the startup, please email these. Our phone lines are extremely busy in here, and it is hard to get through, but we assure you we will get back to questions sent to those email addresses. Again, just a reminder of the cláisinahinse@lmetb.ie. This is our office email. Again, if you have any queries, please, or would like to make an appointment, this is how you do it. Health concerns. If you have any health concerns about your child, please send them to lriley.cni@lmetb.ie. We will still hope to host our first year information night for parents in mid-September, and we will get back to you with more information in the coming weeks on this. Thank you again for joining us today, and I really hope it helped. Slán go fóill.
Thanks everybody. Slán.